Chapter 3: Electrical and Electronic Components. This chapter covers the components of an electrical system and the methods used to test them for defects. This includes switches, relays, solenoids, buzzers, and various types of resistors. Common types of circuit protection devices are discussed. Common electronic components are covered so the student knows how they work and how to test them. These are the objectives for Chapter 3. By the end of this chapter, you should be able to do all of the following. Pause and write these down. As we go through key terms, consider how each of these key terms might relate to one of these objectives. Analog signal. Analog signal refers to varying voltage with infinite values within a defined range. Base. The base is the center layer of a bipolar transistor. Bimetallic strip. A metal contact wiper consisting of two different types of metals. One strip will react quicker to heat than the other, causing the strip to flex in proportion to the amount of current flow. Capacitor. An electrical device made from layers of conductors and dielectric, used to store and release electrical energy, also used to absorb voltage changes in the circuit. Circuit breaker. A mechanical fuse that opens the circuit when amperage is excessive. In most cases, the circuit breaker resets when overload is removed. Clamping diode. A diode that is connected in parallel with a coil to prevent voltage spikes from the coil reaching other components in the circuit. Collector. The portion of a bipolar transistor that receives the majority of current carriers. Digital signal. A voltage value that has two states. The states can be on-off or high-low. Dielectric. An insulator material. Emitter. The outer layer of a transistor which supplies the majority of current carriers. Fixed resistors. Fixed resistors have a set resistance value and are used to limit the amount of current flow in a circuit. Forward biased. This refers to a positive voltage that is applied to the P-type material and negative voltage to the N-type material of a semiconductor. Fuse. A replaceable circuit protection device that will melt should the current passing through it exceed its rating. Fuse block. The term used to indicate the central location of the fuses contained in a single holding fixture. Fusible link. A wire made of meltable material with a special heat-resistant insulation. When there is an overload in the circuit, the link melts and opens the circuit. Ganged switch. This refers to a type of switch in which all wipers of the switch move together. Integrated circuit, or IC. A complex circuit of thousands of transistors, diodes, resistors, capacitors, and other electronic devices that are formed into a small silicon chip. As many as 30,000 transistors can be placed onto a chip that is 1/4 of an inch or 6.35 millimeters square. ISO relays. ISO relays conform to the specifications of the International Standards Organization, ISO, for common size and terminal patterns. Light-emitting diode, or LED. A gallium arsenide diode that converts the energy developed when holes in electrons collide during normal diode operation into light. Load device. The component that performs some form of work. Maxi-fuse. A circuit protection device that looks similar to a blade-type fuse except that it is larger and has a higher amperage capacity. Maxi-fuses are used because they are less likely to cause an underhood fire when there is an overload in the circuit. If the fusible link burned in two, it is possible that the hot side of the fuse could come into contact with the vehicle frame and the wire would catch fire. Normally closed, or NC switch. A switch designation denoting that the contacts are closed until acted upon by an outside force. Normally open, NO switch. A switch designation denoting that the contacts are open until acted upon by an outside force. N-type material. When there are free electrons, the material is called an N-type material. The N means negative and indicates that it is the negative side of the circuit that pushes electrons through the semiconductor and the positive side that attracts the free electrons. Open. A term used to describe a break in the circuit. The break can be from a switch in the off position or a physical break in the wire. Open circuit. A term used to indicate that current flow is stopped. By opening the circuit, the path for electron flow is broken. Overload. Excess current flow in a circuit. Peak-to-peak voltage. The total voltage measured between the peaks of an AC sine wave. Photodiode. A photodiode allows current to flow in the opposite direction of a standard diode when it receives a specific amount of light. Phototransistor. A light-detecting transistor that uses the application of light to generate carriers to supply the base leg current. Pole. The number of input circuits. Positive plate. The plate connected to the positive battery terminal. Positive temperature coefficient, or PTC. Thermistors that increase their resistance as the temperature increases. Potentiometer. A variable resistor that acts as a circuit divider to provide the accurate voltage drop readings proportional to movement. Protection device. A circuit protector that is designed to turn off the system that it protects. This is done by creating an open to prevent a complete circuit. Pulse width modulation, or PWM. On-off cycling of a component. The period of time for each cycle does not change. Only the amount of on-time in each cycle changes. Relay. A device that uses low current to control a high current circuit. Low current is used to energize the electromagnetic coil, while high current is able to pass over the relay contacts. Reverse biased. This refers to when a positive voltage is applied to the N-type material and the negative voltage is applied to the P-type material of a semiconductor. Rheostat. A two-terminal variable resistor used to regulate the strength of an electrical current. Short. An unwanted electrical path. Sometimes this path goes directly to ground. Short to ground. A condition that allows current to return to ground before it has reached the intended load component. Solenoid. An electromagnetic device that uses movement of a plunger to exert a pulling or holding force. Stepped resistor. A resistor that has two or more fixed resistor values. Throw. A term used in reference to electrical switches or relays, referring to the number of output circuits from the switch. Transistor. A three-layer semiconductor used as a very fast switching device. Turn-on voltage. The voltage required to jump the PN junction and allow current to flow. Variable resistor. A resistor that provides for an infinite number of resistance values within a range. Wiper. A wiper is a movable contact of a variable resistor. Zener diode. A diode that allows reverse current to flow above a set voltage limit. Zener voltage. The voltage that is reached when a diode conducts in reverse direction. This concludes the key terminology for Chapter 3. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next video.